Welcome everybody, it's Tenzin here. I'd like to talk now about doing some actual meditation practice. To bring some simple instructions, and then following that we'll have a small video where we'll do some simple meditation. To begin with, when we're thinking about what we're doing in meditation, there are many misconceptions within the world as to what meditation is and what we're doing. People feel that they're trying to stop their thoughts, that they're trying to stop their thinking, they're trying to transcend to a different state of being, to leave behind their everyday reality, to float on the clouds, to all sorts of ideas and misconceptions about what we're doing in meditation practice. The reality of what we're doing in meditation practice is very simple. We're working with our state of minds. We're working with our minds. The most important place we need to work, because all of our, as we've discussed before, all of our happiness arises from the mind, nowhere else. Everything comes from our mental state. So that's what we're doing in meditation. We're working with this mental state to make it a better, healthier, more joyful place, so that the world that's created by that mind, our mental state, is likewise more joyful, more happy, more healthy. So now, in order to do that, there's basically two types of meditation. And any proper meditation that you come across will be one of these two types. The first type, which we're going to experiment with and try now in the following video, is to calm the mind down. So this is known in Sanskrit as shamatha meditation, or calm abiding in English. The idea here is that as long as your mind is running at 100 miles an hour, just the same as if a car was running at 100 miles an hour down the road, you can't work on it. You need to stop the car, you need to turn the engine off to be able to do anything with the car. Likewise with the mind, before we're able to work with the mind, we need first of all to calm the mind down, to bring a little bit of peace, a little bit of stability into our minds. And what we're doing when we do this is combining in our mind two mental factors, or two aspects of our consciousness which are not normally combined in everyday life. These are the factors of clarity and stability. In a normal everyday mind, we'll find that if there's a lot of clarity in our minds, it can be when we're very excited, when we're very emotional, when we're very scared, when we're very much, these types of emotions, there's a lot of clarity in those moments, but there's no stability in the mind. And then when we look at times when we have a lot of stability, at the end of a hard day's work, we're sitting in front of the TV, we're spacing out, we're doing those things, but there's stability in our mind at that point, but there's no clarity. The mind's not clear. Meditation is trying to combine these two factors, to bring together stability and clarity in one mind. So that's what we're trying to do. Now, in our calm abiding meditation, this ability to try and focus, to try and stay more peacefully, more calmly in our state of mind. Then there are many different objects we can use. In fact, we can almost use any object as long as it's an internal object, not an external object. We're not using our senses. We're using our internal mental consciousness rather than our senses. So be wary of so-called meditations which will ask you to look at something or listen to something, or meditation music. These things don't work. We're either meditating or we're listening to music. We cannot do both. Meditation is involved in our internal minds, not within our senses. But apart from that small clarification, we can use any object, any internal object. It can be a figure of someone, it can be an image, it can be the mind itself. But the easiest one to begin with, recommended by many traditions, is to use the breath. So we're going to use the breathing in this meditation. And to make this easier, we'll breathe in slightly different ways. So we'll divide the meditation into three different parts. In the first part, we observe the breath all the way in, all the way out, breathing normally. It's not a breathing exercise, we're just breathing normally. The difference is we're observing the breath. So in the first part of the meditation, we breathe in, breathe out, count 1, breathe in, breathe out, count 2, count up to 10, and then go back to 1 again. And then up to 10, and go back to 1 again. For the first part of the meditation, that's what we do. In the second part of the meditation, we drop the counting and we just observe the breathing. Just being with the breath going in and the breath going out. And in the third part of the meditation, we focus on the breathing just at the tip of the nostrils. It helps with this if you have a bigger nose, because then you can see the breath more easily at the end of the nostrils. If you're an Asian with a flat nose, then it's more difficult to observe that breath. But basically, there's a small sensation as you breathe into and out of the nose. Try and focus on that small sensation. That's basically what we're doing. That's the instructions of what we're going to be actually doing. But what will happen when we do that, as many people who've meditated before will know very well, is that your mind will wander. You'll go off into tomorrow, you'll be in yesterday, you'll be in next week, your mind will go on to different things. When that happens, the one thing we should not do is resist or fight the thoughts, because that's only going to make it worse. Rather, as I mentioned before, we're not trying to stop our thoughts in meditation. That's not what we're trying to do. We're working with our thoughts, we're trying to let go of our thoughts, we're trying to not be involved in our thoughts. So rather than fighting or resisting the thought, just let it go. Just let it pass by like a cloud through the sky, or a fish through clear water, or you can imagine your mind is like a room with 2 doors, and allow the thought to come in one door, but just let it go out the other door. In other words, again and again, we're trying to just work with letting go of the thoughts, not being involved with the thoughts, because the reality is you are not your thoughts. It's only when we feel we are our thoughts, when we identify with our thoughts, when we follow and become involved in the thoughts, that we cause problems for ourselves. If we can let the thoughts go and keep ourselves with our object of meditation, we're working very well with this ability of the mind to let go, to not be involved. And if you can do that, that's a huge advantage throughout your life, to be able to let go of thoughts. So, working with thoughts, letting them go, that's what we're trying to do. The other thing to remember while we're meditating is not to be stressed, not to be trying to achieve something, not to be trying to become a great meditator or any of these things. We're not trying to do something, we're just trying to be with ourselves in the moment. So be relaxed, be gentle with yourself, and just be there in the moment. So that's our instructions as far as meditation goes, and in the next video we'll do the actual meditation. Thank you.